Formula One's second track of the year has already exposed some floors due to some crashes and given us a better idea of where the teams are going in what direction. We got to see the Aston Martin floor, the Sauber floor, and we already have pictures of the Williams floor, but I want to go over all three of them and compare them a little bit to the RB19, what's new on these floors, because we do have pictures of the previous AMR23 floor and how that's actually changed as well. The floor with the least amount of information is the Sauber, mainly because of the angle of the view, but also as well when you're looking at the floor of this car and you actually look at the front, you can see that bib tray. That's kind of the only unique part that I see here. Around the plank is pretty simple with no real steps or kicks in it at all. It's very simplistic, nothing very innovative on it. Even the floor edge itself isn't that unique. Now these Venturi tunnels, they go out pretty long, something similar to that of the RB19. But that's the only thing you can kind of reference on these floors. They are very complicated pieces of aero, and to really go over them fully, you need great pictures. If the picture isn't good, it's hard to actually decipher what's going on. And Monaco is really the only spot that you're going to get beautiful pictures if they're taken exactly from below, like it was for the W14. But for these types of pictures, you can't really decipher too much, except for that the Venturi tunnels that are actually pulling out that outwash are a little bit longer on this car. Now, as I said, we also have the Williams, which, believe it or not, the Williams floor is a lot better than its 2023 floor. I put a 2023 and 2024 comparison, and while looking at them from formula data analysis, you can see the difference between these two floors. Now, one of them wasn't taken at a great angle, but it shows off how bad that floor genuinely was in 23. They have steps to help with the pressurization of the air going to the diffuser. They're slight in this picture, but at least gives you a better idea that they've modified that floor and worked on it a lot better. There is also a floor edge on this floor from the side view, but we're looking at it from the diffuser, and you can tell they've molded a little bit of that diffuser in comparison to what they had before. But the main floor we're looking at today is the Aston Martin car, which was caused by Lance Stroll's crash. Now, looking at this floor, I can already tell a lot of differences from its 2023 floor. In 2023, they crashed also Lance Stroll in Spa, and we got to see a little bit of what this floor was offering. Now, looking at this picture, you can see how those Venturi tunnels are changed from the 24 to the 23, and also looking at the 23, the actual steps on the floor are done much differently to that of the 24 car. Steps on the car are something we first really saw with the Red Bull car. The Ferrari of last year had some steps as well, but the RB19 had by far the most complicated floor. The only real comparisons you can make with the AMR23 and 24 floor, the large throat that they have on the underfloor is still consistent, that it's so big. This is something that Red Bull emphasized, and when you look at that first little Venturi tunnel part, closest to the bib tray, it's very close together to make sure that the clean air is going to the diffuser through that part. You can also see, and now with kicks in these cars, those vertical kicks that you see specifically on the RB19, especially that one shot of Checo from the back, you can see they have two kicks. Now on the Aston Martin car, as I said, it's super hard to decipher with these pictures what exactly everything is. You can see these Venturi tunnels are shorter. They're very closely aligned to that of the F175. When looking at it, also the W14 had a pretty short Venturi tunnel system. Now this is just for outwash, and you can also see that they have that disconnected rear part of the floor that's connected with those little metal grates. And you can see a step in the floor there as well, which is done differently to that of the 23, as I've already said. But the real key to me is looking at the back of the car, and as you can see, there's this kind of cutoff point that looks like a kick in the AMR24. Now, to have this in your car, you have to really understand the floor. That's why Adrian Newey has it, and no other team has really implemented it like Red Bull, to our knowledge as of right now with the floors that we've seen in 23. But if they've implemented a kick, that's actually very impressive, and the floor does look a lot better. Is it as complicated as the RB19? I mean, it's not even close. But through looking at the diffuser, you can see a couple more of these steps, and I think that kick is a little bit more visible here, showing that they really have introduced that. It's a great way to cut off drag, but it could make the car unstable if you don't know what you're doing in the underfloor, hence why a lot of cars go with very simple floors, because it is so complex in that aero mechanism. Much more different for the car and pretty impressive, but we're gonna have to see with a lot more updates that come through the season. The MR24 car is strong, but still pretty hard on its tires. Only good for qualifying at the moment. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Pretty quick, going over the first floors we've seen. Please leave a like, subscribe, it'd mean the world, and peace.